In 1964, the world was gripped by tension as the Cold War created a fragile and dangerous atmosphere between the United States and the Soviet Union. During these uncertain times, a remarkable event occurred that would have a lasting impact on diplomacy and human understanding. Norman Cousins, a prominent American journalist and dedicated humanist, was appointed as the head of a critical U.S. delegation sent to Moscow. His expertise in both English and Russian made him the ideal person for such a delicate and sensitive mission. Norman Cousins was not only respected for his journalistic achievements, but also admired for his strong moral convictions. He was an outspoken opponent of nuclear weapons, believing that the proliferation of such destructive technology could first obliterate humanity and eventually threaten the very survival of the planet. This made him a passionate advocate for peace and a voice of reason in a world teetering on the edge of conflict. The stakes were enormous, and the responsibility he carried was equally immense. Every decision, every word, and every negotiation during this delegation would have consequences not just for the US, but for global security. Norman's leadership was crucial, as the success or failure of the delegation rested almost entirely on his ability to communicate effectively and navigate the complex political environment. World leaders and citizens alike were watching closely. Knowing that any misstep could escalate tensions further, the pressure on Norman was immense. The visit itself went relatively smoothly for the majority of the trip. Important discussions were held, agreements were negotiated, and exchanges of ideas between the two nations proceeded with cautious optimism. There were moments of hope that diplomacy could prevail over confrontation, and that mutual understanding might emerge despite decades of rivalry and suspicion. Yet, as is often the case in history, it was a seemingly small mistake that would cast a shadow over these achievements. On the very last day of the visit, a simple yet consequential miscalculation occurred. Norman's driver, responsible for taking him to the conference hall, accidentally drove him to the opposite side of the city, far from the intended location. By the time they realized the error, precious hours had already been lost, and the delegation arrived at the hall far later than planned. This delay proved critical, as it caused the delegation to miss key agreements, and the culmination of weeks of careful diplomacy seemed, in an instant, to unravel. The mishap was a harsh reminder that even in the most meticulously planned missions, human error can have far-reaching consequences. Despite the many successes of the delegation, the final day's mistake created tension, disappointment, and a sense of frustration among colleagues and officials. It also added enormous personal stress to Norman, a man already carrying the weight of global responsibility on his shoulders. This incident, minor in appearance but major in consequence, set the stage for challenges in his professional and personal life that would soon follow. Ultimately, this episode highlights the fragility of diplomacy during the Cold War, the immense pressures faced by those tasked with bridging nations, and the extraordinary character of individuals like Norman Cousins, who, despite overwhelming responsibility and unforeseen mishaps, remained committed to dialogue, understanding, and the pursuit of peace. The story serves as a testament to human determination, resilience, and the unpredictable nature of history, showing how even small errors can have dramatic consequences in high-stakes environments. Unable to find relief through conventional medicine, Norman made a bold and unconventional decision. He stopped taking the prescribed painkillers entirely. Despite the excruciating pain that gripped his body, nights became long battles with agony. Yet he resolved to face it head-on, believing that if traditional medicine could not help him, he must discover another way to heal. He rented a modest hotel room, away from the hospital's sterile environment, where he could observe himself and experiment with different approaches. He remained bedridden for long periods, enduring the pain without chemical relief. Yet his mind was active, analyzing, recording, and observing every detail of his condition, every reaction his body exhibited to stress, rest, and activity. During these long, painful hours, Norman discovered the first flicker of hope in an unexpected place. He began watching Charlie Chaplin films on the television in his room. And something remarkable happened as he laughed at Chaplin's comic antics, even for a few minutes. He felt relief from the relentless pain. A warmth spread through his body, tension seemed to loosen, and a sense of lightness replaced the heaviness he had carried for weeks. Intrigued by this phenomenon, Norman began conducting a personal experiment. He timed his laughter, monitored his pain levels, and observed the effect repeatedly. He found that 10 minutes of genuine, hearty laughter could relieve pain for up to 2 hours. This was not a fleeting sensation, but a reproducible, measurable response, proving that emotional engagement and joy had a profound influence on physical well-being. Encouraged by these findings, he began to study the relationship between stress, emotions, and illness more deeply. He realized that the original cause of his condition was closely linked to extreme stress and anxiety. The tension he endured during his professional life had triggered a cascade of physiological reactions. Weakening his immune system and allowing the disease to manifest, laughter, he discovered, acted as a natural counterbalance, neutralizing the harmful effects of stress. Norman also noted that his research revealed broader principles about health. Diseases caused by environmental factors could be mitigated through cleanliness. Ailments related to nutrition could be improved through fasting or dietary adjustments. And illnesses caused by inactivity required movement and physical engagement, but for emotional and stress-induced ailments, laughter and joy were the most effective remedy. A revelation that would later form the foundation of his groundbreaking therapy. Despite his lack of formal medical training, Norman meticulously documented his findings, recording each instance, measuring the effects, and analyzing patterns. He shared these insights with his doctors, but they were skeptical and dismissive, claiming that only medical professionals could validate such observations. Yet the results were undeniable, and Norman knew that he had uncovered a powerful, natural form of healing. This realization marked the birth of what would later be called laughter therapy, the concept that genuine laughter could act as a natural analgesic, reduce stress, and strengthen the body's immune response. Norman's personal experiment transformed into a systematic approach, combining observation, self-study, and practical application. He began to envision how this method could help not only himself, but countless others suffering from chronic pain, stress, or illness. Through perseverance, curiosity, and determination, Norman Cousins discovered that joy and laughter were not merely pleasant experiences, but essential tools for healing. His work laid the groundwork for a new understanding of medicine, psychology, and the profound connection between mind and body, a discovery born from personal suffering, human resilience, and the refusal to accept pain as inevitable. Unable to rely on hospitals or conventional medications, Norman made a courageous and unconventional decision. He stopped taking all painkillers and left the hospital, choosing instead to rent a modest hotel room where he could rest, focus, and observe himself. This decision marked the beginning of his self-directed experiment, and although the nights were filled with intense, almost unbearable pain, he persisted, determined to find a path to recovery through his own efforts. In the quiet solitude of his hotel room, Norman began to notice subtle patterns in his body and mind. He spent hours watching television, particularly Charlie Chaplin films, and soon observed a remarkable phenomenon. Whenever he laughed heartily at the comedy on screen, his pain would temporarily diminish. The relief was profound, lasting for hours after just 10 minutes of genuine laughter. A discovery so extraordinary that it would eventually revolutionize modern medicine. Fascinated by this unexpected relief, Norman decided to turn his observation into a rigorous experiment. He repeated it under controlled conditions, carefully measuring pain levels before, during, and after periods of laughter. Each time, the results were consistent. The connection between emotional joy and physical healing was undeniable. This was not a coincidence, but a clear demonstration of how the mind and emotions could influence the body, and how stress and tension played a critical role in triggering illness. As his research progressed, Norman began to understand the underlying mechanisms. The extreme stress and anxiety he had endured during his professional life had triggered a cascade of physical reactions, weakening his immune system and exacerbating his condition. Laughter, he discovered, acted as a powerful counterbalance, releasing tension, improving circulation, and stimulating the body's natural healing process. Encouraged by his own recovery, Norman expanded his experiments to include other individuals, observing how laughter affected pain, illness, and overall well-being. He discovered that many ailments caused by lifestyle, emotional strain, or stress could be mitigated through simple acts of humor. Smiling and heartfelt laughter, he also realized broader patterns in human health, noting that diseases caused by filth could be cured through cleanliness. Ailments related to diet could be improved through fasting or dietary adjustments. And illnesses resulting from inactivity could be countered through physical movement and exercise. Norman meticulously recorded his observations, creating a framework for what would later become known as laughter therapy, a therapeutic approach based on the idea that joy and laughter are not just pleasurable experiences, but essential tools for physical and emotional healing. His work combined careful self-study, practical experimentation, and a deep understanding of human behavior, providing measurable evidence that laughter could reduce pain, relieve stress, and improve overall health. The implications of Norman's discovery were profound. It demonstrated that emotional well-being is inseparable from physical health, and that non-medical interventions such as humor and positive engagement could have a transformative effect. His approach was simple yet powerful, showing that even in cases of chronic illness or extreme pain, laughter could act as a natural analgesic, strengthen immunity, and provide relief that conventional medicine could not, forever changing the way the world viewed healing. Through persistence, curiosity, and courage, Norman Cousins proved that the human mind holds remarkable power over the body, and that joy, laughter, and emotional engagement are more than just sources of comfort. They are vital instruments of healing. His discoveries laid the foundation for a new understanding of medicine, psychology, and holistic health, inspiring countless individuals to embrace laughter, not merely as entertainment, but as a life-saving therapy with measurable, lasting benefits. Thus, Norman Cousins emerged as the pioneer of laughter therapy, demonstrating through careful observation and rigorous documentation that laughter was a natural, powerful, and effective way to reduce pain and enhance health. He began sharing his discoveries in detailed articles, recording patient responses, measuring outcomes, and presenting statistical evidence. His work was so groundbreaking that it was published in the prestigious Journal of Medicine, making him the first non-doctor in history to contribute an article of such significance. The principles Norman uncovered were both simple and profound. He showed that laughter triggers physical healing, strengthens the immune system, reduces stress, and promotes mental clarity. It became evident that laughter was not merely a temporary distraction from pain, but a powerful tool to improve overall quality of life. Individuals who engaged in regular laughter and humor experienced fewer ailments, recovered faster, and maintained a consistently more positive outlook on life. Highlighting the deep connection between emotional well-being and physical health. Norman's remarkable journey did not end with his own recovery. The success of his self-directed therapy earned him widespread recognition, and institutions began to take notice. The University of California, Los Angeles offered him a professorship, where he taught a revolutionary course entitled The Impact of Human Behavior on Health, blending psychology, behavioral science, and medicine to explore how lifestyle choices, emotions, and mental states directly influence physical well-being. His teachings bridged the gap between conventional medicine and holistic approaches, making him a beacon for integrative and preventive medicine. From 1978 to 1990, Norman dedicated himself to educating students about the profound connection between human emotions and physical health, emphasizing that laughter, joy, and emotional engagement were just as essential to well-being as nutrition, exercise, and medical treatment. He encouraged rigorous research, structured group therapy sessions, and practical applications of laughter therapy, demonstrating its effectiveness through real-life examples, patient case studies, and careful documentation of outcomes, providing a scientific foundation for this once overlooked approach. Through his courses and mentorship, Norman trained a generation of students to view health and healing in a holistic way, instilling the idea that mental and emotional states are inseparable from physical conditions. He emphasized that chronic stress, anxiety, and negativity could worsen illness. While laughter, positivity, and emotional resilience could accelerate recovery, reduce pain, and improve the immune system, his students carried this knowledge into hospitals, clinics, and therapeutic settings, spreading the principles of laughter therapy across the country and beyond. Norman's teachings were revolutionary as they challenged traditional notions of medicine, placing human behavior, emotions, and joy at the center of healing. He inspired students to consider non-pharmacological interventions as legitimate and powerful complements to conventional treatments. His research provided measurable evidence that laughter could act as a natural analgesic, strengthen immunity, and enhance overall well-being, creating a lasting legacy that continues to influence psychology, behavioral science, and holistic medicine today. By combining personal experience, meticulous observation, and scientific documentation, Norman Cousins proved that the mind and body are deeply connected, that joy and laughter are essential components of health, and that emotional engagement is a form of medicine in its own right. His work not only transformed his own life, but also established a lasting framework for understanding the healing power of emotions, inspiring generations of doctors, therapists, and ordinary people to embrace laughter as a tool for health, resilience, and longevity. Norman lived by his own principles, practicing laughter daily, eating natural foods rich in vitamins, exercising regularly, and maintaining a consistently joyful perspective. He survived decades of serious illnesses, including heart disease, cancer, and chronic conditions. Defying medical predictions, his life became a living testament to the healing power of positive emotions, resilience, and determination, inspiring countless individuals and health practitioners around the world. The influence of Norman Cousins' work extended far beyond medicine, impacting fields such as psychology, stress management, and holistic health. Laughter therapy gradually gained recognition as a legitimate complementary treatment, helping patients manage chronic pain, emotional stress, and mental health disorders. Today, hospitals, therapists, wellness centers, and rehabilitation programs incorporate humor and laughter-based interventions to enhance patient outcomes and improve overall quality of life. Modern scientific research now validates what Norman discovered decades ago. Laughter triggers the release of endorphins, reduces stress hormones, improves cardiovascular health, strengthens the immune system, and even increases pain tolerance. These physiological changes allow the body to repair itself more efficiently, clearly demonstrating that emotional well-being is inseparable from physical health. A concept Norman proved through courage, keen observation, and methodical experimentation. One of the most remarkable aspects of his methods is their simplicity and accessibility. They do not require medical supervision, complex equipment, or expensive treatments. Anyone can benefit simply by watching comedy, reading humorous books, engaging in group laughter, or maintaining a lighthearted, joyful attitude. The principle is universal. The more one laughs, the healthier one becomes mentally, emotionally, and physically. Stress and depression decrease, resilience increases, and overall well-being improves. Norman's approach emphasizes that joy and laughter are not just entertainment, but essential tools for healing. By incorporating humor into daily life, individuals can reduce chronic pain, improve mental clarity, boost immunity, and restore balance to body and mind. This simple yet powerful practice has transformed the way people approach health, highlighting the profound connection between emotional states and physiological functioning. Through his life and work, Norman Cousins taught the world that laughter is a natural medicine, that joy can counteract illness, and that emotional health is as important as physical treatment. His discoveries empower individuals to take an active role in their own well-being, showing that even small moments of genuine laughter can have measurable, lasting effects on health, and that a positive attitude can be a critical factor in recovery and longevity. By living his principles every day, Norman not only healed himself, but also left a legacy that continues to impact medicine, psychology, and public health. His teachings remind us that laughter, positivity, and emotional engagement are not optional luxuries, but essential components of a healthy life, a life where the mind and body work together in harmony, and where joy becomes both a shield and a source of strength. Norman Cousins' discovery also highlights the hidden dangers of chronic stress, anxiety, and overseriousness. Individuals who remain tense, constantly worried, or emotionally suppressed experience weakened immunity, heightened pain, and faster progression of diseases. Conversely, those who incorporate laughter into their daily lives live longer, healthier, and more fulfilled lives, underscoring the profound connection between human emotion, behavior, and physical health, and showing that emotional well-being is not a luxury, but an essential component of overall health. The practical applications of laughter therapy in modern medicine are extensive. Nursing homes and rehabilitation centers have incorporated structured group laughter sessions or participate in stand-up and improvisational exercises. These simple interventions reduce stress, ease chronic pain, boost mood, and accelerate healing. The practice is non-invasive, cost-effective, and universally applicable, offering a powerful complement to conventional treatments, and demonstrating that healthcare does not always require medication or complex procedures. Norman's work has also left a lasting mark on popular culture, inspiring books, films, documentaries, and motivational programs that emphasize the healing power of humor and laughter. Bollywood's Amuna by M.B.B.S. portrayed a principal character inspired by Cousins, showcasing the role of humor in patient care. His ideas encouraged the inclusion of laughter as a legitimate tool in medical practice, education, and personal wellness, and they continue to influence healthcare professionals, educators, and ordinary people alike, reinforcing the notion that emotional engagement is a critical factor in overall health. The key lesson from Norman Cousins' life is the deep interconnection of mind, body, and spirit. Diseases are not solely physical, but often have emotional roots. Tension, fear, anger, and negativity manifest as illness, while positive emotions, joy, and genuine laughter serve as natural medicine. His research demonstrated that even brief periods of laughter can temporarily relieve pain, reduce stress, and enhance emotional well-being, while consistent practice can improve long-term health, resilience, and life satisfaction. Through his life, work, and research, Norman emphasized that emotional and mental care is inseparable from physical treatment. His principles encourage people to prioritize joy, humor, and positivity, not as mere leisure activities, but as vital elements of healing, self-care, and longevity. He showed that individuals can actively influence their health through attitude, mindset, and behavior, that laughter is a tool to counteract disease, and that emotional resilience is as critical as any medical intervention. Ultimately, Norman Cousins' legacy is a call to action for all, reminding us that joy, humor, and laughter are powerful allies against pain, stress, and illness. The simple act of laughing can improve immunity, reduce tension, and restore balance to mind and body. His discoveries provide hope that even in the face of chronic illness, emotional engagement, optimism, and genuine happiness can create measurable improvements in quality of life, inspiring generations to embrace laughter as both a preventive and healing force. Norman's life proves that the human spirit has incredible capacity for healing when nurtured with joy, humor, and positivity. His insights transformed not only medicine, but also the way we view life, showing that health is a combination of physical care, emotional well-being, and mental resilience, and that laughter, as both a daily practice and therapeutic tool, is one of the most accessible and effective forms of medicine known to humanity. In practical terms, anyone can benefit from Norman Cousins' revolutionary approach. Spending even an hour a day laughing, watching humorous movies, reading jokes, or socializing with lighthearted and positive people can have a profound impact on overall well-being. This simple yet powerful practice strengthens immunity, reduces stress, alleviates pain, and enhances emotional resilience, clearly demonstrating that health is not solely a medical pursuit, but also an emotional, behavioral, and psychological one. Norman's legacy teaches that life's inevitable challenges, pain, and suffering can be mitigated through laughter, optimism, and conscious engagement with joy in a world increasingly dominated by stress, anxiety, and tension. Incorporating laughter as a daily therapeutic practice is both revolutionary and timeless. His life and discoveries serve as living proof that joy is not a luxury, but a vital necessity for physical healing, emotional stability, and longevity. Inspiring people across generations to embrace positivity as a tool for wellness. Even in severe or chronic conditions, laughter acts as a natural analgesic, providing measurable relief from discomfort, reducing stress hormone levels, and improving mental and emotional states. Patients suffering from chronic illnesses report reduced pain, enhanced mood, and faster recovery when regularly engaging in laughter therapy. These outcomes are supported both by personal experience and scientific validation, showing that this approach is not just a form of entertainment, but a legitimate, evidence-based method to support healing and overall health. Norman's approach represents a unique fusion of observation, compassion, and human ingenuity. Born from personal suffering and meticulous self-experimentation, he discovered that the mind and emotions could directly influence physical health, that joy could counteract disease, and that laughter could act as a natural form of medicine. His work challenged conventional medical thinking, highlighting the critical role of emotional well-being and health, and inspiring a holistic understanding of healing that integrates mind, body, and spirit. Ultimately, Norman Cousins demonstrated that human emotions are powerful tools for sustaining and restoring health. Laughter and joy are not mere pleasures, but essential components of life and medicine. His discoveries revolutionized perceptions of therapy, encouraging healthcare professionals, therapists, and individuals alike to consider emotional engagement as a central aspect of medical care. His work reminds humanity that happiness is not optional, but a vital form of medicine that supports healing, resilience, and long-term well-being. By integrating laughter into daily life, individuals can strengthen their immune systems, reduce the physical effects of stress, and improve recovery from illness. Norman's approach emphasizes the profound connection between mental states and physical health, showing that emotional resilience and positivity are not secondary but foundational to wellness. His discoveries continue to guide medical practitioners, educators, and patients, providing a simple, accessible, and highly effective strategy to live healthier, happier, and more balanced lives. Norman Cousins' life is a testament to the power of the human spirit, the healing capacity of joy, and the transformative effects of laughter. He proved that even in the face of chronic disease and medical adversity, the mind can influence the body. Positivity can generate measurable improvements, and laughter can serve as a life-saving therapy. His insights remain timeless, offering a practical, inspiring, and scientifically supported path to health and emotional well-being for people of all ages and backgrounds. To honor Norman Cousins' extraordinary contributions, one must recognize a simple yet profound truth. Smile, laugh, and laugh heartily. These small, intentional acts carry the power to relieve pain, reduce stress, and improve overall health. God has embedded a remarkable healing energy in human laughter, and those who embrace it experience richer, longer, and healthier lives. The essence of Norman's philosophy is simple, accessible to everyone, and universally beneficial. Even a single patient's life can be transformed by the power of laughter. Spending just 10 minutes laughing can provide up to 2 hours of relief from pain. Integrating humor into daily routines prevents the accumulation of tension and emotional strain, strengthens resilience, and improves mental and emotional stability. By following Norman Cousins' principles, anyone can achieve better physical health, greater clarity of mind, and deeper emotional balance, proving that joy itself is a natural, powerful, and enduring form of therapy. Today, laughter therapy is recognized around the world as a legitimate and effective complementary treatment. Hospitals, wellness centers, and mental health professionals have successfully implemented Norman's methods. Patients consistently report reduced pain, elevated mood, stronger immunity, and faster recovery. These results demonstrate that emotional health cannot be separated from physical well-being, and that simple, low-cost interventions can have profound, life-changing effects. Norman Cousins' story is not merely one of personal triumph. It is a universal lesson in human resilience, curiosity, and the transformative power of innovation. Faced with terminal illness, intense suffering, and skepticism from the medical establishment, he refused to surrender. Instead, pioneering a revolutionary approach that reshaped the world's understanding of healing, his insights continue to inspire millions to integrate joy, humor, and a positive mindset into daily life as essential components of health and longevity. The principles Norman uncovered are as practical as they are profound. They show that laughter is more than an emotion. It is a biological and psychological tool, capable of reducing stress hormones, boosting endorphins, strengthening immunity, improving circulation, and enhancing overall well-being. By simply choosing to laugh, individuals take an active role in their health, counteracting the effects of chronic stress, anxiety, and tension, and harnessing a natural mechanism embedded within the human body. Moreover, his discoveries have lasting implications for society as a whole. They challenge the idea that health depends solely on medicine, hospitals, or expensive interventions, instead highlighting that emotional engagement, positivity, and social connection are essential to healing. Laughter becomes a bridge between mind and body, offering measurable physical benefits while also nurturing mental and emotional resilience, creating a holistic path to wellness that anyone can follow. Norman's life demonstrates that even in the face of extreme pain, illness, and uncertainty, the human spirit retains incredible power. His dedication to research, observation, and self-experimentation revealed that joy is both a preventive and curative force. Laughter is not optional, but a necessity. And emotional well-being is a vital part of medical care. His legacy inspires people worldwide to embrace happiness, humor, and positivity as fundamental tools for living a healthier, longer, and more fulfilling life.